All right, everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we have a quick one for you. It's going to be very quick. OSight. I don't know if you're familiar with the brand Olight. Make flashlights and things like that. They even make some weapons lights. They have gotten into the tactical sight categories. So they've had a few iterations of this one, and they reached out and they wanted to send me the one of the OSights, either the OSight X or the OSight S. The S is a little smaller, but the application that I thought that I wanted to use this one for, I went for the bigger one. So what I want to do is I want to get it out. I want to show it to you. We'll talk about it a little bit. I'll tell you just some of the specs and stuff. This will be considered a budget red dot sight. I mean, it's not cheap, but it's not expensive. So it's one of those where if you're just getting into the red dot game, it might be worth taking a look at. Obviously, it's unopened, so I haven't mounted it on anything. Now, I don't do a lot of firearm content just because YouTube gets a little weird about that, and especially with the sponsorships, and you got to check boxes and all kinds of goofy things. So therefore, I don't do a lot of that. So we'll talk about it. We'll kind of talk about it in a third person kind of way. I won't be showing you any guns or anything like that. I'll show you a couple mounting platforms. You can determine from there if it's up your alley. But I think it might be a good little option. I have a platform that I'm considering that I might want to run this on, at least to put it through its paces. Find out, one, if it can hold zero, how tolerant it is to higher caliber recoil, which is what I think I have in mind for it. But let's get it opened, and we will go from there. So today, for our cutting and opening pleasure, we have our Benchmade Crooked River in S30V. And this comes boxed pretty darn nice. You can feel the kind of the quality of the box. It feels a lot like if you're an Apple person, feels like a lot like how your Apple phones come, things like that. It's probably our charging cables in here. Yeah, charging cables, and this looks like to be a lanyard, more than likely, so you don't lose the little charging hood. This is also a little carrying bag and a lens cloth, also for, I'm sure, the charging hood. This is probably, let's see if you can see that. This is our selection of different screws for different mounting applications and different sight applications. Some require a little bit longer screws, some are a little fatter. So it gives you a decent little selection here. So we'll see which one we like the best. We flip up our lid here, and there's our sight right here. It's got kind of a rose-colored tint to it, if you can see that. Pretty light. This is our charging hood that actually goes over the top like that. Oh, and you can see it starts to charge. And it's telling us right now that we just barely have 25% in the battery itself. So on the side here, this is our plus and negative. So there's a yellow light there, if you can see that. Try it again. That yellow light means that the sight is like 20%, 25% or less. It'll be red. I'm sorry, maybe it's 50% or less. It'll be red if it gets to 20% or less, and then it'll be green when it's fully charged. So what we'll do is we'll get this on the charge here, get some power into it. We'll get this guy plugged in. I have some USB-C cables here, so I don't have to worry about those. We'll let that charge up, and then we will come back, kind of do a little comparison. We're going to show you how it looks on a typical Picatinny rail platform there. And we also have in the box a hex key with the Torx bit and then a square bit. I'm going to assume this is going to be for adjustment of the sight. They also sent two different Picatinny rail platforms. One is a high mount here. Yeah, the OSP 157. It is 1.94 inches long and it is 1.13 inches tall. So if you need, to get up, to get over whatever else might be on your platform, that might be the one for you, or if it's just how it fits your face the best. This one here, which in a current situation that I'm using, this would be the rail, just because I don't need a high one for the application that I'm currently using, but this is 1.78 inches long and it's only 0.48 inches tall, so less than a ½ inch tall. Now we're going to compare it to the Trijicon RMR, and this is the dual illumination. So this is fiber optics, and then it's got tritium. And so I run basically these only, just because I don't like to have to deal with batteries. And the reason why I don't like to deal with batteries is because when you have to pull these off to change the batteries, a lot of times, or most of the time, you end up having to resight the weapon that these are attached to, just because, you take a sight off or a scope off or anything like that. You always have to resight it in. So I love these, and I do run these on a handful of platforms. This one that I took off here, I'm going to transfer this one. It's going to go actually onto a handgun pistol, because it's a smaller size. It's the perfect size for that, and it's my off-body carry gun. So we're going to put it over there. We'll take that side off, put it on something else, and then we're going to go ahead and take this new sight, and we'll put it on the AR platform that this came off of. This is at a 45. It's not a co-witness, but it's just have a red dot handy, just because I like iron sights. So we will make that switch. I won't be doing that on camera, obviously, because I don't want to display anything that I don't have to keep YouTube off my back. So let's let that sight charge a little bit so we can play with it. I want to get it to at least green, and then we can give you some more stats on it and kind of show you the reticle, and we'll go from there. All right, so I think we've got enough on here to play with it. We are now up to about 50% charged, and we also have the green light indicator that we're at least 50%. So this is considered to be the first magnetic charging cover of its kind, as far as what OSight does. This is the little loop right here, if you can see that. That is for the little lanyard that I showed you when we unboxed it. It is a 3 reticle, so it's a standard dot, and then you can do just a halo around it, or you can do the dot and the halo, so you can make it as tailored to your shooting style as you like. It makes it nice. The dot is sharp. You've got a lot of brightness selection, sometimes almost too much. You can get it way too bright where it just washes out and it just becomes a big blob. We'll show you that as we go along here. But they say this is like the industry's first, in my opinion, making the uncertainty of when your batteries are going to die here, because there's nothing worse. You know as well as I do, there's nothing worse to go. You take your gun out, you don't get a chance to check it, you go out there and your optic's dead, or your light is dead, or whatever the case may be. Nothing's worse. Hopefully you have the extra batteries, but now you got to deal with all that. So this is kind of nice with the cover on there. Tells you right where you stand. You don't have to worry about it. Off you go. Field of view on this is significantly bigger. You can tell between the RMR, Trijicon RMR, and this OSight, which is going to work out better for me in the application that I think I'm going to use it in, just because this one tends to be just a hair small. This, if you ask me, is more of a handgun sight, which is where it's going to get relocated. This is going to actually get put on a long gun. So let me do that. What we'll do is I'll get this mounted onto just the low platform here. We'll get it on a Picatinny rail, and then we can kind of put it in the vise and show you the features of the dots. I would try to do it for you here, but the odds of you catching it are probably going to be slim without me being able to see it. Oh, there it is. But it does have, which is kind of nice, you can set it for a manual where you just turn it on, or it has a secondary feature, which is an auto. So if you draw, the weapon, the light comes on. Now, it turns off, I guess, after 10 minutes of inactivity, but I don't know, for example, if you're walking around, going from, target to target or whatever the case may be, if that's just going to keep the light on all the time, that amount of movement, or is it requiring, some kind of a jerking movement? Kind of, these are things you'll have to test. So, but we'll test it when we get it out on the range. We'll report back on that. Right now, we're just doing an unboxing, kind of showing you the product. So let me get it mounted real quick. Then we'll get it in a position where we can kind of go through the reticles for you, and kind of see what we're looking at. All right, so this isn't the best. I've tried to come in and out the best I could, but trying to stay in focus. I'll see if I can't zoom it in post-production or whatever. But and if you press and hold the minus for 3 seconds, it goes straight to the dot. So now that we're just dot only, press and hold it for 3 seconds more. Now it's just the circle only, right? And then press and hold 3 seconds more. And that should be the circle and the dot. So that'll put it into auto mode. When you see it flash twice like that, you can use the plus to really brighten it up. Negative to bring it back down. However you like it, whatever the conditions are. And if you want to manually turn it off completely, you press and hold the plus and the negative together for 3 seconds. That'll turn it off. Right here is our adjustment for up and down. Over here is our adjustment for left and right. Each one of these clicks on the up and down is 1 MOA at 100 yards, obviously, so that's half MOA at 50 yards and a quarter MOA at 25 yards. So this housing is made out of OAL aluminum material. That material is supposed to be tough and strong, nearly as lightweight as 7075 aluminum, with a level 3 anodized finish that provides superior impact and corrosion resistance for lasting durability. Now, I've seen a few people on YouTube who have these mounted on their weapon system, and I've seen them just bash these things into a table running a pistol in and out of battery to try and make it break zero on the sighting. Now they say this has been field tested to 100,000 rounds without losing zero. You can watch on YouTube, you'll see people losing zero much quicker. But for me personally, I don't intend to bash this into the ground or into a table, 25, 35, 55 times just to try and make it fail. But I will run, 100 rounds through it and, in increments and see what kind of zero it still holds. Here, so the sight is better than 75% charged, but the unit itself is only about 50% charged. But I think that's it, guys. It looks like a good looking sight. The proof will be in the pudding. I think this particular sight retails for $229, something in that neighborhood. I have it written down somewhere. See if I can find it for you. $229. Now the competitors, the Hollow Sun, for example, is in the 350s. That Trijicon, those RMRs, those run anywhere from $450 to $700, depending on where you buy it. $800 if you try to buy it from the Trijicon site, which you don't. But so for a budget site, there are other options. There's the burst fast fires and things like that you could compare it to. But this is what they sent me. Can't wait to get it on a platform and give it a test and then report back to you guys. So thanks for tuning in. Like I said, this is going to be a quick one. I'm going to chop it up pretty good for you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next video.